Welcome to Scales and Weighing Solution, another edition of how to set up a scale kit. Today we're going to work with an LP7516 local indicator. This particular indicator has a lead acid battery, LCD display, the one that we're using today, or an LED display that's actually red LED. Every single one of them comes with a cord, an AC power cord, and the battery that's already in there, a 9-pin connector, and also a home run cable that comes from your summing box or from your cattle chute scale to the indicator. Both units come with two manuals, one that's included by the manufacturer and one that Scales and Weighing Solution makes. This particular manual actually tells you what's included in the box, how to set it up, how to calibrate it, and gives you a little bit of a layout how we position this under a cattle chute or a chute that is used for any other type of a four-legged animal. Shows you diagrams, how much space you need, clearance between your frame and the load cell, and how to set up a junction box with a picture, so make sure you don't make a mistake on it. And also parts later on if you ever need to repair it. I put together a frame that is not included in the scale kit because that would be yours. A small base, not something big. You could tell that we use the blocks, which is a threaded block that comes in the kit, to mount the load cells to it. So the threaded block is not a double jam nut on the other side. It's actually used to keep your load cell away from your frame. So you have gap in here, which allows the weighing mechanism to work and not flat to the surface of the base. If it's flat to surface of the base, it will not do any weighing. Also the feet, if you actually noticed, I drilled a hole on the top here so I can adjust it to level it. But if you actually don't have a hole and the feet is all the way up and it's touching the frame, this load cell is not going to do anything for you because it's not going to weigh, because 3 spots, the load cell is actually connected to your frame. Now, after you put the load cells in there, it comes with adequate amount of cables. A lot of people actually say it's too much, but we use this amount of cable in order to accommodate also longer cable runs, larger chutes, scale chutes like large Tartar or Crifert cattle chutes. Now, as I mentioned, we have this particular summing box that you see here, made out of stainless steel. I labeled to make sure you know where to actually put the wires. It has a rubber gasket in there to keep the water out. After you wire this in, using my manual, you set up your scale. We're going to give you this particular indicator already preset. We run a calibration on it, but because we don't know the weight of your frame, you have to do a calibration. The calibration is a C5 and C6 parameter that is easily settable using the manual. Now, this particular unit when you actually press on and off and set, goes to C01. To get into that particular parameter, you could tell this is actually set to number 1. So calibration unit is going to be kgs. If you actually set it to number 2, calibration unit is going to be in pounds. C number 2 is going to be 0 because we're not using any decimal point. We're going to weigh by 1 pound increment. C number 3, this actually shows you the increment that you're going to weigh by. So we're going to reduce that to 1 because we're going to use 1 pound increment. C4 is going to be your full scale capacity. So this one actually shows you 10,000 pound. The scale is actually 5,000 pound load cells. For hoppers, we could use this particular system for 20,000 pound. For cattle chutes, 10,000 pound. Why? Because the animal walks on one side of the scale, so 2 load cell has to handle the full scale pressure. So when we actually set this to 10,000 pound, we go to C5. C5 is going to give you the 0 calibration. Now, At this point, the indicator says, okay, you don't need any zero calibration. It's set to 0, but we're going to do a number 1 here, changing it to number 1, that we will need a calibration for 0 because, like I said, we don't notice 0 where it's going to be when you put your frame on it. It's going to count down at 0. Press set, it goes to C6, which is your span calibration. Now this time you should have some type of a weight on hand, maybe a feed bag of 50-pound corn or a test weight if you have, or some type of a known weight. So when we go into C6, the same thing is going to ask you, do you want to calibrate this, or do we just keep it as the last calibration? So we're going to say to number 1 because we would like to calibrate a span. Now, it tells you how much weight you should put on. Now, we don't have 10,000 pounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 100 pounds. So we're going to change this to 100. At this time, you can put the weight on it. Now, 100 pounds is obviously more than what we have on a table. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to 50 pounds. So we're pressing this to show 50 pounds. We put the weight on it. And after the weight is on, we press set. Same thing, it's going to calculate, it's going to count down. It gives you, okay, cal end. We press on and off, and it tells you 50 pounds. So you can actually start weighing now. It goes back to 0. And that's pretty much, how you would calibrate an LP7516. Most of the indicators are calibrating this way. This particular indicator, again, it's come pre-calibrated, but because we don't know your frame weight, we always tell you to do a calibration, C5 and C6. C5 is 0, C6 is span calibration. Make sure you have some type of a weight before you start this. Thank you.